I think so.
Okay. Good for me. Excellent. All right, good evening. Welcome to the May 28th, 2024 meeting of the Pequannock Township Council. Ms. Marsh.
In accordance with the requirements of New Jersey's Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting was included in the annual meeting notice, which was filed in the office of the Township Clerk, posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, published as a legal notice in the Suburban Trends and Daily Record newspapers, and distributed to all persons requesting notice in accordance with Township policy.
Thank you, Ms. Marsh. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a prayer and a moment of thanks for individuals serving our nation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Most gracious Providence, we ask that you bless this governing body with an abundance of wisdom and understanding, so that every deliberation will result in actions which will promote the common good and the general welfare for all the people of Pequannock Township. Amen.
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 The clerk will please call the roll.
Mr. Tracy?
Present.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Here.
Mr. Cole?
Here.
Mrs. Russell? Here. Mayor Hurd, sorry.
Yes, I am here. Thank you. Next on the agenda is presentations. We're going to start with the Junior Citizen of the Year, and then we'll have the citizen. So, Hank, you want to come up? Council, you want to join me down there?
Sure.
Hi, Kyle. Scurry in the corner. So, hi, Kyle. This is Jim Van Dyke.
She's in the corner.
Mr.
Hey Jim, how are you? I'm sorry I couldn't be there this evening.
All right. Bikes by Hank. Clearly, he just does not stop growing. This is amazing. Well, I knew this kid when he was in Scouts. It wasn't this big, like you're like that big. His voice wasn't that deep either, but it's all good. And I've seen what you've been doing over the past couple of years, and it really is inspiring. I mean, if you could do something like that and just picking up bikes and starting to make things out of them and then selling them and then taking that money, not for yourself, but giving it to other groups in the community, that's amazing. Like, nobody does that. So I think that this is one of the most fitting things, don't you?
It was an easy selection.
It was easy.
It was an easy selection when you say Bikes by Hank and all the charities and all the wounded war. I mean, for Memorial Day, there was one bicycle put up for the wounded warriors. I mean,
It was amazing. It was definitely an easy decision. Kyle, who is not here, but she is here on the phone somewhere. But
Here I am.
there she is. And this is the first ever Junior Citizen. So you should be really proud because, I mean, when you really think about it, this just goes to prove that one person can actually move the needle.
Make a difference. Make a difference.
So, without further ado, I'm going to totally embarrass you and read this, okay? Is that good? Yeah. All right. Whereas Henry Hank Struble has distinguished himself by his service to our community through Bikes by Hank, which he established in 2013 at the remarkable young age of 9. You're not 9 anymore. I see you drive around that Bronco, man. All right. Whereas Bikes by Hank, where Hank fixes donated bicycles and resells them to the benefit of the community, has become an inspirational fixture in our community. And whereas Hank has donated over $20,000 in proceeds to the following vital organizations in Pequannock Township. We've got Fire Company 1 and 2, Pequannock Library, Boys and Girls Club, American Legion, Post 242 and 450, First Aid Squad, Pequannock Food Pantry, Holy Spirit School, Police Department, Pequannock Animal Shelter, Our Lady of Good Counsel Church, Local Families in Need. I mean, that's amazing. This is where, and I don't want to even call you a kid because you're a young adult, but this is amazing. And whereas Hank has donated to the charities outside of Pequannock Township, including homeless shelters, inner city after-school programs, environmental protection programs, Children's Hospital, Wounded Warrior Project, and various veterans group and more. And whereas Henry A lifelong resident of Pequannock Township, plays football and competes in track at PTHS. Is enrolled in the STEM Academy, a member of the Environmental Club, a volunteer for Tim Tebow's yearly Night to Shine, a special needs prom, and maintains a solid academic GPA. And whereas Hank Struble is an exemplary young citizen who understands the importance of community and civic responsibility. Now, therefore, the Township Council is pleased to honor Hank Struble as the Pequannock Township American Legion's first ever Junior Citizen of the Year. Cool.
It's just really an honor to be recognized like this. It's just kind of like surreal to me that this is like the first ever, and I'm able to...
You know what? I can see you on council and as mayor. What do you think? There you go. I would do it. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Hank, way to go.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Good job. Nice way out. That's all.
And congratulations.
It was an easy one.
You're just
Yeah, sure.
great overall for everybody.
Yeah,
We were also told now that he's not, he goes by Henry.
Did you get pictures?
all right. Well, thank you. Guys want to get pictures together? Does the family want to get pictures? Come on, Hank, get up there. Let's get the family.
Henry, you're back in the center.
Come on back.
It's not that easy. Come with it.
Everybody, come on in. Surround us.
Henry, how was the weekend down the shore? Was that good?
Oh, perfect. Mommy in here, sisters in here.
I don't know.
Mom can get right next to us.
Everybody look that way.
Everybody look here. Hold on. I'll take 5 and you can take 10.
It's digital.
Who's gonna take Rose's picture when Rose is getting it?
I'm gonna have everybody. All right, next up, another inspirational person. I don't know if Frank wants this, if you want to wrap it on the way home. I'm sorry, you snuck in.
I would just like to say something before we
Absolutely.
start with Rose. You know,
You want to get up here?
the
We can talk about you?
the Citizen of the Year was brought back, you know, after there was COVID, and there was this, and there was that. And, you know, Citizen of the Year, who's it going to be? And when you find out that somebody like Rose Fallon and Hoping for a Cause has never been Citizen of the Year or been recognized for that with something like Citizen of the Year, it was followed by Hank being Junior Citizen of the Year, Rose Fallon for being Citizen of the Year, and the way that Quilting for the Cause was founded and proceeded was an easy one. There was no doubt about it. And it actually came as feedback to us from other organizations in town that said, you know, Rose Fallon.
Yeah.
So here you are,
We even
Rose,
came up
Citizen
and
of the Year.
We even thought that you already were, and we were like, wait, she hasn't been Citizen of the Year? How could this happen?
I've been busy quilting.
Really? So how many quilts is it up to now? I was talking to them over there, but how many have you done?
8,888, and I think Saturday we're gonna hit 9,000, so if you wanna stop by,
9,000
9,000, yeah, and my kid is
And over how many years?
7 years,
In only 7 years.
7 years.
There's
Well, not like
9,000 people that are smiling.
Yes, yes.
And it should be mentioned that it started with a piece of fabric handed to her from your mother-in-law.
Yeah, my mother-in-law, Joe's mom, had quite a stash, so when she passed, she left it to me, way more than any one person could use. So, Martin Luther King Day, I need a drink of water. It's a national day of service, so my sister-in-law, my niece, some friends came over. We made 11 quilts in a weekend. We thought it was a big deal. And my husband, thank you.
Well,
They got you in there, Joe.
Yeah. My husband said, wouldn't it be cool if you could do this all the time? But we did it at our house, and there's not enough room, so then we asked to use senior house, and the rest is history.
At what point did it turn from your house to senior house? How much fabric did you have in your house? I'm just trying to envision what it looked like.
Yeah, we had like, tables.
Literally multiple homes.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. And then we put it in the basement, and then it still was in the living room, and a lot.
So-
a lot of quilters have a lot of fabric, which is why we're still quilting. That's where it all comes from. So everything we use is donated. All the fabric, all the thread, all the quilt batting is all donated. So all those 9,000 quilts, you
All the
know,
materials
everything
been donated.
was donated, right?
So what I'm hearing you say is it's actually Joe's fault.
Yes,
He didn't
yes,
dump all the fabric on you.
yes.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. If it wasn't for Joe, you would have made almost 9,000.
That's
quilts.
right.
I mean, that's
That's right.
I can't even comprehend how many that is and what that looks like. Because
Well, I think end to end, it's 9 miles, and I know that because Joe counted.
Oh, you have nothing to do, huh?
So that's, that's,
I think it's amazing how you built a community of just all these volunteers. And
You
they just
know-
all came out of the woodwork.
it may not have happened if it wasn't in Pequannock. Because Pequannock always rises to the occasion. Because I thought, if I put this out there on Facebook, are people just gonna,
Right.
you know, there's-
Right.
how many homeless people are in Pequannock? Like, how many do you need to make?
Good point.
And it just, about a year into it, somebody said, oh, it's gonna be so sad when we run out of fabric. Never happened. Never gonna happen. We've had 2 people, I'm in 4 people's wills now. I said, please change that to Quilting for a Cause and not my name.
Well,
Yeah.
it's true. Just like we talked about, Hank, you know, there's a point at which one person can actually move the needle, and you have clearly moved the needle 8,800 and some odd times, so that's crazy. Well,
And Hank has donated to Quilting for a Cause.
that is awesome. See, we've got this whole thing going on here.
Yeah.
Like, you're absolutely correct. Well, with that said, I want to honor you with this because you are inspirational to all of us. And when your name was floated around, literally it was like, wait, she never got Citizen of the Year? Everybody kind of thought you already did, and it absolutely fitting. So,
Thank you.
with that said, whereas Rosemary Phelan, a lifetime resident of Pequannock Township, is the founder of Quilting for a Cause, which brings warmth, beauty, and personal connection to people in need. And whereas Quilting for a Cause, which began with a single donation of fabric to founder Rose Phelan, who made handmade quilts, which were hand-delivered to the homeless of New York City by her husband, Joe, has grown to include over 100 volunteers and ships their quilts to those in need across the country and beyond. Whereas recognition of Quilting for a Cause includes the 2018 New Jersey Governor Jefferson's Award for Volunteer Leadership, congratulations. News 12's Jersey Proud and Spotlight New Jersey, thank you again. And Pequannock Valley Rotary's Paul Harris Fellow Recognition Award. And whereas, through Rose's dedication, Quilting for a Cause has enhanced our sense of community and pride, bringing together volunteers of all ages and skills who are working together to achieve the organization's goal of shipping their 1,000th quilt by year end 2024. So just 1,000 in a year alone? That's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of quilting.
That's a lot of quilting. Now, therefore, Township Council is pleased to honor Rosemary Phelan as the Pequannock Township American Legion's 2024 Citizen of the Year, in recognition of her outstanding contributions in making our community a better place to live, work, and raise a family. Thank you very much.
I accept this in my name, but I'm not a one-person operation. There are all these wonderful ladies and one gentleman working with me, next to me. So I accept this on behalf of Quilting for a Cause.
Well, it's definitely worth it. Take a wonderful picture.
Take a wonderful picture.
Let's see if we can get everybody together. Joe, you want to come up?
Joe, you need to be there.
Bobby Jones doesn't know how to quilt.
Yeah. Double time on his hands up.
We can bring in quilts.
I'm sure there's some in Sharon's car.
Yeah, there's some in my car.
But they're not filmed, so we gotta go.
All right. We
Can I
got
just
it.
have my picture taken with Hank? Because
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Well deserved.
Thank you. I got a picture taken with this gentleman here. When I saw his vehicle said Junior, I said, does that make me senior? But he was quick to respond, no.
There we go.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Congratulations, you guys.
Congratulations again, guys.
Thank you.
A special thank you to Carol Mark.
Yeah. Getting everything together.
I just transcribed. Thank you. I'm humbled.
All right, now back to boring business. If anybody wants to stay, it'd be great. Everybody's leaving as usual. Enjoy the rest of the day, everybody. See you later, Gary. All right, next on the agenda is reports from volunteers. At this time, are there any reports or comments from any of the volunteers serving our community? Randy, come on up.
Good evening, Town Council.
Good evening.
Randy Shamber. How's everybody doing tonight? What a great evening with those awards. Laura and I have donated to both causes over the years. They're both great, great causes. So I'm glad I was here for that. Thank you for presenting that. I'm here tonight to follow up on my presentation last week, which was what Propel has been doing in the community, which also includes the Pride Fest, which is happening this Saturday. Hope you can all make it. It is from 11 to 5 at Greenview Park. We've ordered a perfect weather day, and it is being delivered. So we expect a large crowd. We have nearly twice as many vendors than we've had in the previous year. And our students at Shamrock are really looking forward to performing all day long as well. The primary reason I'm here tonight is one of the members of the PTHS Gay Straight Alliance, Tori, was here last week and had asked if the council would once again issue a 4th June Pride proclamation, as well as asked for permission to have the pride flags planted out in front of Town Hall, as we had done the last 3 years. We have received permission from First Reformed Church to do that. So I was asked to come again, to ask you again, if you would be so kind and do those two things like you had done in the past to support the LGBTQ plus community right here in Pequannock. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Randy.
Thank you.
Any other volunteers? Seeing none?
I guess before we move on, are we doing this? We're not doing this? I'm okay with the proclamation. I signed it the last 3 years. I'll sign it again this year.
Yeah, I definitely will. I definitely think we should do the proclamation, and I'm okay even with the flags for a limited period of time. I just remember in the past, we had an issue with the flags being out on the 4th of July, and I definitely don't want to see that. Maybe for a week or two at the most, but in June. Anybody else have thoughts?
I'm fine with the proclamation. I'm away. I don't know how I'll sign it. I guess somebody can sign it for me. But I'm kind of thinking, I'm definitely thinking that I think the only flags that should be at the municipal building are American flags. I think that all of a sudden other people will want to do flags, and an Israel flag or a Palestinian flag, and I would really just like the American flag, which represents everybody, to be the only flag allowed on municipal properties.
Thank you, Kyle. I tend to agree. I think Thanksgiving is way too divisive, and I kind of agree. Just American flag, that's it. And that's my thought. So.
But if it's on the first Reformed Church property, why can't you do it? It's not the town's property, it's the First Reformed Church. We've done it for the past 3 years.
Okay.
The agreement in the lease, we both have to agree to it.
So it's right now, you've got Kyle saying no, Dave says yes, Melissa says yes. I think, John, you have to vote on it. You know, why wouldn't you do it just to support the town?
Yeah, I'm sorry, ma'am, this is my meeting. This is our meeting, to clarify. So
I'm a resident.
that's great, but this is our meeting, so we're talking about it against ourselves to figure out what to do. But thank you very much. I appreciate your time here.
I just don't want the town to be anti-gay.
I don't think we are, but thank you very much.
I know, the only thing I'm going to say, I know in the past we talked about that we did not want to fly the other flags.
Right, correct.
But we did allow, with the church's permission, we allowed them to do the town's supporting the Pride Fest. That's going to be, I plan on going that day. They have a lot of, it's for the community. I'm okay with the flags in the garden, but only, for a limited period of time. And am I the only one that feels that way?
I'm okay with 7 days.
Yeah.
I think the ordinance that we signed is the American flag, the state flag, the POW flag, and the Tree City flag are the only flags that are allowed to fly on our township-owned flagpoles.
Correct. Right. And that's why we came up with, or you guys came up with this in the past. So I don't know if John wants to weigh in, but that was
John,
me.
would you like to weigh in?
That was me and Dave.
Yeah, I mean, if they wanted to do that for a week or so, I mean, that's fine. I mean, I would rather just have American flags and let's keep it even, but if we wanted to do that, like Mr. Cole suggested, that would be okay.
Okay.
So flags for 7 days, I'm good. Melissa, are you good?
I'm good.
John, it sounds like you're good.
For that.
I'm good with 7 days.
Sounds good.
And the proclamation, I'm good. Kyle's good.
I'm good.
Forgive the interruption, just a quick question for clarification purposes. If the decision is for 7 days, which 7 days?
Right.
Well, they can put it out anytime in June as long as they're down before the end of...
Seven consecutive days.
Right. Seven
So
consecutive.
which 7 days in June, just so there's
Randy, you want to
no
put up June
misunderstanding.
1st to June 7th?
Well,
Or would you rather be a different time?
Is there a preferred week you would rather have it up?
I think the best thing to, thank you for doing that. As you know, June is Pride Month, recognizing, the Stonewall riots over 50 years ago in New York City, and that's why we have Pride Month in June. If 7 days is the decision, then that's, we appreciate that. I think the month of June is what we've done in the past, but I understand. 7 days, I would say, allow us to do it the day after the Pride Fest, which is Sunday to Sunday, June 2nd to June 9th. And the one thing that Melissa had mentioned, the year that it went past June 30th, I was out of town, there was a miscommunication, someone was supposed to come do it, they didn't come do it, just a simple miscommunication was all it was. So if it's 7 days, it would be June 2nd to June 9th, but I do appeal to you again, because June is Pride Month, to have them up for the full month, and we will make sure 100% that they're taken down before the end of the month. But whatever you decide, again, appreciate that they can be there. Thank you.
Okay.
I think we're in agreement for 7 days, so.
Yeah, 2nd through the 9th.
So noted, thank you.
I guess, Ms. Marsh, you'll just have to find out whose name to put on the proclamation.
I heard 3 yeses on the proclamation, so.
Yes. Okay. All right, next on the agenda is public comments. The public comment period will be limited to a total of 30 minutes. An additional period for public comment is reserved later in the meeting. We welcome comments, suggestions, and questions during the public comment period. However, the purpose of this is to allow public comment, not to engage in a dialogue. If you have a specific question, please feel free to pose it and then follow up with staff via telephone or email. As a reminder, comments are limited to 3 minutes. If anybody wishes to address the council, please wait to be recognized to come to the microphone. Provide your name for the record. Just clarification, public comment or?
Well, we're somewhere between volunteers and public.
There you go. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm not quite sure where we fit.
Hi, Paul Havman of the Historical Society, Kathy Winterfield, you all know. I would like to read into the record this press release that we recently sent out. Pequannock Township Historical Society, originally organized as the Friends of the Martin Berry House, is celebrating its 10th anniversary this May 2024. The PTHS is a dedicated group of volunteers passionate about preserving and sharing Pequannock Township's rich history. The journey began in 2014 when a presentation by Pequannock's town historian, Ed Engelbart, sparked interest in the Martin Berry House, the township's second oldest structure predating the Revolutionary War. Over the past decade, the PTHS has transformed from a passionate audience to a vital historical organization. They meticulously maintain the Martin Berry House as a historic landmark and exhibit space, ensuring the community can connect with Pequannock's past. The PTHS received a grant administered by the Morris County Heritage Commission for the Morris County Commissioners. The grant was funded by the New Jersey Historical Commission, a division of the Department of State. The grant of $2,750 will be used to install a picture rail system at the Martin Berry House. This new system will allow for the safe and professional display of historical photographs and artwork, further enriching the viewer experience. We are incredibly grateful for the support of the Morris County Heritage Commission and the New Jersey Historical Commission, said Paul Havman, chair for the PTHS. This grant will be instrumental in enhancing the Martin Berry House and allowing us to share Pequannock's history in a more engaging way. We hope that you can all join us at our next business meeting and 10-year celebration on Tuesday, June 11th, with special guest Linda Russell, who will explore history through music. The end.
So Tuesday, June 11th?
Tuesday, June 11th. It's
We're going to have it at the house.
at the Martin Berry House.
What time?
Well, we start at 7:30, but you might want to get a good seat, get there a little earlier.
We have a council meeting that night.
Oh.
Oh, do you? Well, we'll think about you. I'll have a drink for you. This is a copy of the press release.
Now, Paul, did you say the second oldest town
Yes.
in this town?
Yes.
I thought it was like the 7th oldest house in New Jersey.
I believe that's correct.
Who's the first oldest house?
I can never remember, but it's one of the van.
So that's still standing in this town?
Yes, the oldest house. It's one of the Van Mumble houses. It might be a Van Saun, might be a Van Wingerden.
I thought it was
Probably the Van Saun house.
Yeah, I think so. Up on the turnpike there.
And also, Kathy Winterfield, 1206 Chatfield. I just wanted to let you know that I was blown away when I wrote the grant, my first grant I wrote. I got it. I was proud of that.
Yeah, good job.
But everybody had to give me their bio who's on the executive committee, and it could only be 2 sentences in the grant. So I had to pare it down. So people gave me things on napkins, on sheets. Ed Engelbart's was this big. But I want to give you a copy of everybody who's on the executive committee and what they've done in the past that we whittled down to 2 sentences. And I was blown away by the support that's on that committee. So when you seek grants for big money for the landscape and the different things that you're doing, just know that there's good stewards and very, very bright, smart people on this executive board. That we sit in that house and it looks like a bunch of old people, but it's a bunch of really smart old people who've done a lot of things in their lives, that you would just be blown away. So I'm going to leave this with Carol. She can pass it down. It's just a little bio that was part of the grant. And you'll be as blown away as I was by what people have done. That's all I wanted to say.
Was that an English teacher's 2 sentences, or could it be like Dave Cole?
Well, Engelbart's, I used a lot of stuff
Run-on.
to string it along, because I knew with grants you have to follow the rules. So, I was really impressed with the group of people. I never really knew how good they were. And we lost two really prominent people. We lost Lou Bear and we lost Jay Wanzik. And you start to get really concerned. But when I put this together, I realized that we got a whole bunch of good people and really good stewards of that home and the money that you help us obtain. So thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Congrats and thank you, Kath.
Oh, thank you. Oh, yes.
Anybody else?
Hi, Patty Horsing, a lifelong resident of the town. So I was here 2 weeks ago regarding candidate signs on utility poles. How it is a safety hazard and it's also against state regulation. Now, as Mr. Ustek had stated, that it has been requested already to take down signs from utility poles, but nothing's been done. There's still one across the street from, right across from the Pompton Queen Diner. There's one on Ratzer Road. There are two on the bike path from our good old Mr. Hurd. And so I'd like to propose an ordinance that bans any candidate sign from being on any political post on any utility poles. You have utility workers that we should be caring about. And then by having a candidate basically say, hey, I don't care about the state law, I'm going to post my signs, you're giving the message to the residents that they can break the law and it's allowed. And especially to young kids. I mean, right now we've got a good town, you know, but if we keep on having ordinances and state laws that our own mayor gets to basically breach and no penalties, what are we setting precedent for? Something should be done. And we should put an ordinance on the books that there's no allowed to have political signs on any type of utility poles and care about the utility workers instead of people getting elected again. And I'll send Mr. Ustek, I'll send you the town ordinance along with everybody else on the board.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would anybody else like to come for comment? I see you behind the pole. Come on up.
Lorraine Robertson. I don't have to give my address, right?
No.
Well, my main reason for coming tonight is first I'd like to thank Adam for following through on the asbestos on the 60 Sunset, following that through to make sure everything was in order. I think a lot of people noticed it and recognized that, you know, people did call a lot sooner than they gave you the opportunity to act on it, and I wasn't one of them. But I did want to make the board aware that that was a big, important thing that was done, because there's still a couple of issues, but you're on top of it, so now the town feels that you're more engaged and understand our concerns. So I'd like to thank you for that. And also, the feedback with Hank as a junior citizen has been huge, huge. And that's all I heard about at the parade, that, oh my gosh, we recognize one of our own youth. Look at that. So that was a real big, exciting thing. So I hope that continues, because it'll look really good on his college resume, too. So thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else for public comment?
The Citizens of the Year Award, is that chosen by the Town Council or the American Legion? Do you guys know?
Not a comment period, ma'am.
Okay. If the Citizen of the Year Award is supposed to be to a resident, it should be to a resident, not someone who's left the town 4 years ago. Just to give you a heads up.
Thank you. Anybody else out for comment? All right, seeing none. Manager's report. Next on the agenda is the manager's report. Mr. Brewer.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. A number of items, letters on my written report. First is, at the last council meeting, there was discussion regarding the asbestos abatement at 60 Sunset. Within my report, there's also a memorandum from Grant, the construction official, that provides greater detail on the activities that he engaged in with respect to complaints that were received. Bottom line is the township does not have jurisdiction. It is under the jurisdiction of the Department of Labor. Upon the original complaint, Mr. Grant served a stop work order and was ultimately served with the necessary documentation and had the communication with the state, knowing that it was to satisfy his curiosity and his obligation that it was under the State Department of Labor and not an issue subject to a permit. Further, there was a question at the council meeting the council asked to be looked into regarding whether or not a demolition of the structure could take place, and based upon a review of applicable ordinances by the township attorney and the construction official, if a complete application was submitted, the structure could be demolished.
But there's no application on file to demolish it at this point?
Correct. There's no demolition taking place. At this stage, it is the abatement of asbestos.
Got it. Okay.
My next item, good news. The township submitted requests for community-directed funding to Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill, and although it's not in my written report, the same request was also made to Senator Booker, and both the senator and the Congresswoman have recommended that the support move to the next phase for the township's PFAS mitigation project. $3.8 million was requested for a $4.75 million project. As the council is aware, but the public may not be aware, this is, I think, the third or the fourth year we've made this request. So nothing yet. It is the federal government. So but
at least it's in.
The representatives, we passed the first hurdle, and it is on to the respective appropriations committees of the various bodies, and ultimately to be included in the federal budget, which is supposed to be adopted in September, but we know that doesn't always happen.
And is that the same, we requested 3.8, but we have to have some skin in the game? So
correct. So maximum
80-20?
Yeah, the maximum subject. Yeah, the maximum we requested is what we requested with the 3.8. I don't know if we're going to get the 3.8. I've heard of other municipalities asking for things and getting a little bit less. When I was asked how much we would take, I said $1. Any support would be greatly appreciated. Moving on to the next item, the mitigation project general update. This has been a long time in the works with respect to the design and the permitting and the acquisition of the necessary easements. Currently, we have a drinking NJ DEP safe drinking water permit in hand. Next up is the TWA approval, which will also include the council taking legislative action, and ultimately we will need a green light from NJI Bank, which is the state funding entity that we're submitting to go out to bid. Again, the reason we're going through the iBank is to take advantage of a 50% interest-free and 50% a lower interest rate than we could even achieve. And based upon a $4.75 million project, anything interest-free is beneficial to the ratepayers.
Now, how long will this project ultimately take by the time it's functional in a perfect world?
I mean, from issuance of a notice to proceed from construction? Well, we await the iBank's approval to go out to bid.
Right.
So we have to wade through a little bit more of state bureaucracy before I can even speculate.
And we're also going to check to make sure that...
Correct. If we move forward now, we might want to wait for the federal funding decision if it's contingent upon not starting before that. But one of the things they did ask in the application was, where are you in this process? Have you done design? Are you ready to go? And an accurate description of design being complete and where we were in the process with iBank was included in those discussions with the legislators. Flood resilience officer position, we were all very sad to hear Jennifer McCulloch resigned about a month ago, 5 weeks ago at this point. Ms. McCulloch had a tenure of just shy of 7 years with the township and really did monumental things for the flood resilience and flood mitigation with the grants and emergency management response. She was a heck of an asset to the senior staff and the community. Left for an opportunity in a new position. I think she was somewhat ground into the floor by dealing with FEMA all the time. But bottom line is she was a good asset, and she was a good colleague to work with. So I'm happy for her that she's doing something that she wants to do, but I'm sad for us that we lost her. That said, she's still on at a part-time basis helping out, and the township hired Kevin Nelson, retired police captain, who after 2 weeks as a part-time employee has made amazing progress moving forward.
He's really missed this place, huh?
He did, and with the captain's experience with some PD grants and the accreditation process and evidence management, it's bureaucracy, right? We're dealing with federal governments and grants and people, and the captain had a way with people. So we're very happy to welcome Kevin to the role. He starts full-time on June 3rd.
Welcome back, Kevin.
Within the packet, there's a memorandum from the township engineer, Frank Russo. Applications for the annual Department of Transportation Municipal Aid Grant are due on July 1st. The grant really has to do with proximity to hospitals and schools and other municipal infrastructure. As the council is aware, the award was just made for New Adams and Washington Street, which is right around the school down the street, the Catholic school. So we try to pick something that will be met with success. The recommendation is that we proceed with Sunset Road, and there's kind of 3 areas of Sunset identified. Unless there's objection or comment from council, we'll proceed with Sunset Road from South Sunset Road to West Parkway as the first of the sections.
Okay.
I do have a couple questions on that. You want me to wait till you're done, or?
Sure, if you...
Wait.
No, you can...
Okay. So it looks like we're going to be making the road a little narrower in front of the high school. Has the traffic department been made aware of this? Because from what I'm hearing, it's a complete nightmare there, and are we going to get worse? Are we going to make it worse?
Where are you drawing that it's going to be narrower? In his comment of narrowing it up a little bit?
Tightening up the turning radius to reduce the pedestrian travel path.
That's not making the road narrow. That's taking the intersections, and if you have an intersection that's got a wide throat, you turn it more into a 90 to create a more defined...
I'm just wondering, has PD looked at it to make sure that what he's proposing is not going to make it worse?
I don't know the answer to that question.
I would think that we should probably consult with the traffic division on that, being that there's so much traffic right there now.
If that's the will of the council, and the desire of the council, that's something we can definitely do. The subject of the grant application is the subject for conceptual approval. Design is obviously not yet complete, so we can confer with the police department as we proceed with design if the council doesn't have any objection to
I would definitely get filling out on the grant, and in the meantime, we can always talk to them, just get their 2 cents. But
yeah, because again, just to be clear, it's not narrowing the street, it's fixing the intersection. To enhance pedestrian safety.
It would be nice to run it.
I agree. I think we should discuss it with the traffic department.
Yeah.
The other question that I have, it says Sunset Road, West Parkway to West Sunset Road. The project will include installation of concrete curbing along those stretches where there isn't any. Guide rail improvements along the northerly side of the road, tightening up the intersection. So if I own a house on this street, I could have guide rail now in front of my house?
If there's existing, but I'll get back to the council.
So wait, if it's existing, I'm okay. But if it's new, I mean, I don't think too many people would want guide rail, which is guardrail. It's guide rail is the new terminology, in front of their house.
Again, if it's existing, I suspect that's what's intended with the engineer's proposal. Design hasn't been completed, but that will be included, and I'll be happy to review that with the traffic division of the police department as well.
Yeah, that would be good. We don't want to make assumptions there.
Again, design isn't, this is conceptual. We have to draw up the application. The council sees the application before it's submitted. There's a resolution the council adopts. So this is conceptual in terms of the engineer doesn't want to proceed with an application and preparing it if the council has this question. So this is a good thing to get out ahead of these.
Yep.
I mean, if it said existing guide rail will be replaced, I'm okay with it, because I know there is guide rail by Brooklawn Drive. But if they're adding new guide rail...
I'm not reading it as adding new guide rail. I'm reading it as if the project would include the installation of concrete curbing along those stretches where there isn't any guide rail improvement. So if there's not guide rail improvement, they're going to be doing concrete curbing. That's how I'm reading
it. Again, if there's no conceptual objection to it, I think we're getting a little far into the weeds, and I can report back on the questions.
But either way,
I think it's a good idea. I just want to see the plans before we say go.
Yep.
Yeah.
We still have to apply for the money, right?
Yeah. But yeah, I'm with Mr. Cole. I don't want to put guide rail in front of somebody's house, especially if we're putting curbing in. If we have curbing, we don't need guide rail.
I can't say that unequivocally, but I highly doubt we would be putting guide rail.
But it's a good point.
Not in residential areas like that, no.
It's there now.
There's existing. So do I have consensus with respect to the subject of the application and the detailed questions regarding guide rail and the tightening of the throats of the intersection will be addressed in the interim?
Yes.
If, as long as the PD is consulted.
Okay. And then the 2024 Morris County Trail Grant Construction Program. This is an interesting question, and this is genuinely, I'm looking for support, or not support, but I'm looking for feedback from the council. In attempting to find the subject for this application, the engineer made a recommendation for a paved path from West Parkway to essentially Roberts Place along the northern boundary of Greenview Park. I have mixed feelings about additional asphalt in parks.
Yeah.
So I wanted to see if the council thought there would be merit. It's kind of looping things to a little bit of an element. You're not losing playing field diagrams in the application.
Yeah, I
And why
looked
does
at
it
it.
need,
I
why does
wasn't
it
really
need to be
interested in it.
asphalt as opposed to
It's a
like
path.
gravel?
Yeah, but we already have, I mean, there's already a path there. I run on it almost every day.
Yeah, again, this is a concept that was advanced, and I figured I would check.
You really can't see it unless you go online
Yeah.
to see the red line, because it's black and white here.
I mean, I personally don't see the need, but, I mean,
I think it's,
what do you guys think?
What is it made of now? Dirt, gravel?
it's
Just grass.
Yeah, it's just grass now.
What about, if he wants a path, what about like a, more like a dirt or gravel path?
well, if you're walking on it, gravel is something where you're going to twist your ankle. Macadam, you're probably not, you know.
I just meant so it wasn't blacktop, more like,
I mean,
like
my
We
more
can make a
like,
path that's not blacktop. I would
That's
go
what-
for that. I don't want to put any more asphalt.
that's what I mean. You can do a path, just like there would be a bike path. Some bike paths aren't blacktop. They're
Yeah.
I'm actually in favor of leaving it alone.
Yeah, I mean, my fundamental question is why?
Yeah, do
Isn't
we
there
need
other
it?
projects that we can do?
So it was a funding source, and it kicked around ideas, and it was a thought, so,
Is there anything else in town we could do?
I'm sure there's something
Anything else we need
else.
a path?
We were working on the trail over by Foothills, but that, we ran into
need a
snags
floating pad.
because you need a dinghy to get around right now.
That's its own
Do
problem.
we have some time to think about how?
There's no obligation to make
Right.
the application. It's a grant opportunity, so it was just to kick around the idea and see what the
I'm
thoughts
just trying to think.
And would that mess up the added parking for like the hoedown and everything that we park along the creek?
I think it would be along the other side from where the
Because we need that parking.
Oh, yes.
It looked like the path was basically right against the residential,
Okay.
right behind the houses and stuff.
If we wanted to do a stone or QP or something, but I'd rather not put more asphalt in parks.
No, I definitely don't want more asphalt. I'm just saying, is there someplace else that we could use improvements? I mean, I don't know.
Again, I think.
Looks like it starts at the corner of West Parkway and the small parking lot on the
Yeah.
right-hand side. It goes over the driveway going to the small parking lot near the pond, continues along the edge of the property, and it goes to
Right behind those
the...
houses, really.
Yeah, exactly. It's just following behind the houses.
I mean, if we feel like we need one, I just would rather it be something else other than macadam blacktop.
It would be nice maybe to make a loop through there so you're not walking on the roads.
Right.
One way or the other, but I'd rather not asphalt. I'm sure they can find something else.
If you pull up the online version, you can see the red line.
Right, that's what I'm
Like,
looking at.
it goes right alongside the soccer field, crosses over. I'm in favor of just leaving it. I don't think we have to, I don't know, put more macadam down.
So I hear three certainly in favor of not an asphalt.
Definitely not asphalt.
But do we want to explore another material, or do we want to leave well enough alone?
They can
You want to
explore
explore
it.
another material, go ahead.
I would.
Okay.
I would.
All right. Next, last week, the Morris County Historic Preservation Trust Fund Committee did site visits at the Ponca Plains Railroad Station as well as the Martin Berry House to discuss the township's most recent applications. A lot of good questions. Presentations are next week, so we are optimistic and hopefully we'll receive support for those two applications moving forward. And then lastly, Route 23 sewer project is now going great guns. We're moving forward with much greater speed than we had in the beginning of the project. So there are 3 crews currently on site, and we look to completing that, get that completed as expeditiously as possible without the change order or any of the other things that were previously proposed.
When are they supposed to be done by? Fall?
November?
Substantial completion was supposed to be the end of the summer, early fall, with completion, with everything closed out in the late fall. But with weather delays and other issues, I don't have exact dates.
But this year?
Yes, this year.
I have a question about that also.
Yes.
So whose responsibility is it to tell us that the sewers are installed and we can start billing? Is that the engineer that's on site? Is that the building department?
I don't know. What's the context in which the question is being asked?
Why was the airport left off for the last several years with us not knowing? So what I'm trying to say is,
How do we make
Who
sure
should
it doesn't happen
have
again?
notified us?
I don't know.
Well, who's notifying us for the properties that are going on 23? Because right now, I have no idea if the properties that are being sewered, we're going to actually be billing.
So when this is
If
completed...
you don't know, I don't know. Who does know?
Well, when this is completed, it will be a municipal project, so we'll be notified it is clear and online, and based upon the project, there'll also be an assessment, and based upon the assessment, there'll be a list of properties, so the billing office will have that.
Through water utility.
Sewer utility. The challenge with this is it dates to 1997.
Okay, so but
And-
there
and
had to
we
be
were
someone
notified.
from the town that inspected it, correct?
I don't know.
Moving forward, does it get...
Wait, just to clarify.
Bob, is that correct, would you say?
Of course, we know there should have been somebody who inspected it. We just don't know where. This was also between towns. This is not in Pequannock. It's a property being serviced in Lincoln Park. So we have no idea between the towns how that played itself out.
And having no knowledge of what happened, I'm not going to speculate or provide an opinion inappropriately.
Right, and just to clarify, you're talking about the airport's sewer, not the sewer project on 23.
Airport sewer.
Okay.
I think what the ask is, how do we know that it's not going to happen again?
Right.
What's in place now? We don't have that happen
Well,
again.
and on this project, yeah, the answer is as it was provided.
Right. This project we can control. I have no idea what happened in the past and how that happened.
I'm somewhat amazed.
Okay. Any other questions from council?
Yes, question on item G. So you said you met with them, they're going to get together next week, and then we'll have a decision next week on the
No,
grants?
so the process is there's a letter of intent that has to be submitted, and then there's an application that's submitted. They schedule a site visit, which is a subcommittee of the greater committee where they come actually out to see it. Then there's a presentation made by the staff and professionals to the whole grant committee. They make a recommendation to the county commissioners who ultimately approve it, typically in August, and then we get the grant agreements thereafter.
Okay. Any other questions? No. All right, moving on, there are no public hearings, no ordinances for introduction. Next on agenda is resolutions. Ms. Marsh.
Beginning with Resolution R 2024-120, authorizing the acceptance of a hold harmless agreement from Darko Durchevsky for Block 4202, Lot 3, which is 5 Baxter Place. 2024-121, authorizing the acceptance of a hold harmless agreement from Leo and Carolyn Wash for Block 3405, Lot 6, which is 19 Colfax Avenue. 2024-122, approving the renewal of the designated alcoholic beverage control licenses. 2024-123, authorizing tax office refunds, overpayments, or cancellations. And R 2024-124, approving payment of the itemized claims as set forth on the May 24th, 2024 bill list.
Thank you. Are there any comments on the resolutions from council?
Yes, I got one on 121. It should be Colfax Drive, not Colfax Avenue. And on 120, I know we're not talking about it tonight, but we're okay that this property has 3 separate outbuildings besides the house? I thought you were only allowed to have 1 shed. Looks like they got a single-story cabana, a shed, and a shed. Am I correct by that, Bob?
Well, it's always hard to know what's existing and what's not, but yeah, generally speaking, today, we can refer...
If the council would like to hold that one for referral back for clarification on the question, you can...
I would, because I would want more clarification, because obviously in the resolution, it just says construct private improvements, and then when you look over here, you're not sure what's staying, what's going, is he adding, how many? So I'd hold that for clarification.
Okay. So hold R 2024-120?
Yeah, and then 21.
Yeah, on 122, there are other licenses in town, right? When do they renew?
All at the same time, I think.
They have a certain period of time, I think, so, well, Carol can answer that.
Well, there's other ones besides this in town, correct?
The liquor licenses all have to be renewed by July 1st.
She does.
I just do them as they come along because it's easier for me and it, makes them know it's done.
Okay, so there are other ones down?
Yeah. There are.
Okay.
And they've all been notified?
They've all been notified, by me, by the state.
So if they don't renew by the 1st, they're lose it?
No, they have to go to the state for extensions.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Okay, any other questions? No? Is there a motion to adopt these resolutions?
I'll make a motion to adopt resolutions 120, 121, 120.
I thought we were holding
We're holding
120.
one.
So it's 121 through 24.
It was 120 we were holding.
Right.
Yes. Oh, yeah, we're holding 120. So I'll make a motion to adopt 121 with the correction of Colfax Drive, 122, 123, and 124.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Roll call?
Mr. Dreesy?
Yes.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mrs. Russell?
Yes.
Mayor Hurd?
Yes. All right. There are no items listed for discussion. There are no reports and notices. Council reports and announcements. Councilman DeRisi.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. None of my committees met. The one was supposed to meet last night, but it was a holiday, so it looks like they're trying to meet next Monday. Two, I'd like to say congratulations to the two Citizens of the Year.
Yeah.
Again, it's great that we have a junior award. And I know they mentioned that it was so easy, so I look forward to it next year. Who they're going to pick next year. But congratulations to Rose and Hank or Henry. Great job.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank whoever was in charge of the parade to have a parade yesterday. We snuck it in. It was good. I heard a lot of towns canceled it, and it's kind of a shame, you know? I mean, we can get wet a little bit, I think. Right, Pete? We can get wet. It was a great parade, great turnout. In fact, a couple people that I know from Wayne came over here because they canceled theirs. So,
Mr. Ducey, I don't interrupt, but I want to give credit where it's due. The Legion met early in the morning after some discussion Sunday, and they made the decision based upon the report. So they deserve the credit.
No, it was great. It was great to go. So, just to give a shout out to the Pequannock Township Historical Society. They presented before about what they've done in town. So they've done a lot of good work. So that's good. And thank you to Kathy for passing out the I don't know what you call it, but the bio sheet. That's very good to see. Thank you. Also, it's good news on the PFAS system that Mr. Brewer likes to mention all the time. It's great that we're trying to get somebody else's money to do work that they require us to do. So it would be good if that happens. I'd just like to welcome back Mr. Nelson. He always did a good job as an officer, so good to see him back. And I also would like to say I've been away for the last 2 weeks in different parts of the country with weather, and we should be very, very thankful here. A lot of parts of the country are getting hammered quite bad. I've been in a couple houses that are 12 foot off the ground and they had 3 feet of water in them. So we should definitely be thankful here. So, and that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Councilwoman Florence Lynch.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. A couple of things. First of all, my committees, the Economic Development Committee will be meeting here in this room tomorrow at 7 p.m. I saw the email go out this morning as a reminder. I did meet with the Senior Citizen Advisory Group. I do have a question for Mr. Brewer just to make sure they're going down the right path. They want to, they've been researching doing a bus trip to like Hunterton Hills Playhouse or something like that. They should just continue to work through Parks and Rec in everything for that, as far as everything they need and making sure, because I know there's certain rules about the way we
Yes, I received an email today through, I think, Ms. Marsh's office, and Ms. Malloy is going to be reaching out to the group to work with them to figure out the hows and the whys and making sure it all works.
Okay.
So yes,
I just
Ms.
want to
Malloy
make sure that
we'll work with them on that.
Okay, great. I appreciate that. What else? Flood Committee has not met yet, so I'm waiting for the chair to call the next meeting on that. But of course, we were sorry to see Jennifer go, but we're happy that Kevin Nelson is coming on board. So, and we still have Jennifer.
Correct.
And I also, to help out. And I believe you also said we were researching for some other technical assistance type work.
Yes, the township has annually used a consultant to assist with the preparation of the grant.
The grants.
For the technical dynamics of it.
Yeah.
There was an RFP put out to get global technical support in the event we couldn't find a successor to Jennifer. We did. I'm not sure if we're going to act on that request for proposals. We may tighten it down now that we know we have
Right,
somebody.
have that, yeah.
Because the numbers, we opened them last week, the numbers were
Yeah, because
stagnant.
I just want to make sure we're not spending more money now.
No,
Because
no, we
of
were-
what we have to do with grants or whatever.
Yeah, the initial concern was we don't want anything, we don't want any blips in the road.
Yeah,
So we cast a
exactly.
wide net and now we can tighten it up.
Good. All right. Also tomorrow, I don't know if everybody saw it, but there is a senior and veteran ID event. If any seniors or veterans need an ID, perhaps, you have an older parent who doesn't drive anymore and they don't really have a valid ID. This would be, a reason why they might get one. Veterans can get them for free, and the seniors, it's $5. You do not need to register ahead of time, but you do need to show citizenship and prove you're a Morris County resident. The event is run by the county, and it's at the senior house, and it runs from 10 to 2. If you need more information, there might be a couple of flyers on the table, and I know it's on Facebook and on our website. All right. June 1st, Pride Fest, we talked about that at Greenview Park. Looking forward to that. High school graduation and PV graduation coming up, right? We got the invites for that, so congratulations to all the graduates. June 18th is PV 8th grade graduation at the high school, 6 o'clock, and the high school graduation, 65th year it will be. And theirs is Wednesday, June 19th at 6 o'clock at the high school. So looking forward to both of those. I went ahead and RSVP'd that I was going to the county event, which now I'm not because it's the same night as the high school event. So can you take
I'll let her
care of
know,
that?
yes, yeah.
Because I had RSVP'd early, okay? What else? I regret to say I was away for one of the first times for the Memorial Day Parade. I was away camping, and I couldn't. Normally, I come back the morning of, and I was able to jump right in the parade, but we were too far down south this year, so I was away for a couple of days camping. But I saw the pictures. The parade was great. Congratulations to both Hank and Rose on Citizen of the Year. That was awesome. And the Legion did a great job. What else? I put a note here from the Historical Society. Thank you, Kathy and Paul, for coming and for all your hard work with the grant and everything. I mean, I know that's a lot. You guys do so much over there. Shop the Town event. I don't know if people saw the Shop the Town event coming up, June 15th. It's from 10 to 5 all day. So hopefully that'll be a great event. They did a similar event last year. A lot of the businesses are going to be partake in that. So come out for that. I also wrote a note here, fireworks are June 28th, so mark your calendars for that. What else we got? Pequannock Valley Rotary is holding a 5K race. All the sponsorships are done. We printed the shirts. That's every year at Greenview Park. That's going to be Sunday, June 9th. So if anybody wants to come out, and you don't have to run, but you can walk if you want. But we're looking for runners now at this point, so you can sign up at. You can get more information and sign up through Pequannock Valley Rotary's website, www.pequannockvalleyrotary.org. The information is on there. What else? Oh, and Bishop Nava Columbiettes, they're holding a tricky tray at Holy Spirit School on Friday, May 31st. Doors open at 6. And other than that, I think I covered everything I wanted to cover, so thank you.
Sure you don't have anything left?
Okay. Just trying to get the information out there. People are like, I never
get everything
saw
in there. Thank you, Melissa.
You're welcome.
Councilman Cole.
Thank you, Mayor. Great job by the American Legion Post 450 and 242, along with all the township employees that made the Memorial Day Parade a huge success. I wasn't around for Pequannock Shred Day, but I heard that was jam-packed. Again, maybe we should consider maybe doing more than what we're doing. May 21st, I attended the Morris County Police Chief's fundraiser for Montville Police Chief Andrew Caggiano. Chief Caggiano will become the 2025 president of the New Jersey State Association of Chiefs of Police. Great to have someone from Morris County holding that position. Congratulations to Henry and Rose on well-deserved Citizens of the Year. Congrats to Kevin Nelson on coming back in the new role, and kudos to the Martin Berry House board for all you guys are doing over there. I was away for the tour, but I got to get over there because I hear it's looking really good. So congrats. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Councilwoman Russell, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, you're up.
A lot of my committees did not meet, but I do want to say that we're still looking and interviewing for a new library director. We're also looking for an interim library director. We have made some interviews. I want to caution people from going around and stating things that are just not true. We're having an issue where people are asking us questions at the meeting. We are responding. Our lawyer is responding, and they are go ahead and printing false statements and getting people riled up on Facebook. It's not right. It's causing division, and it really should stop. This board has no intention of banning any books. We have no intention of not doing 100% what's best for the library of Pequannock Township and the people in the township. We represent everyone, and we are trying to do a very good job, but there's a lot of people that are trying to cause diversion, and it really has to stop. That being said, congrats to all of our Citizens of the Year, both of them. It was a very easy choice. They both have done a lot for the community, and I'm very proud to know both of them. Congrats to Kevin Nelson. Look forward to having you back on the team. And thank you. I wasn't able to make the parade, but I saw the pictures, and I just want to thank the American Legions and the township and everybody who worked so hard. Special shout out to Gene Spillane. I know he does a lot of work on that. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, none of my committees have met, but I do have a couple of things. Again, Citizens of the Year, it's impressive, and it just goes to show that you can actually move the needle, even if you're young. It really is amazing. Bikes by Hank, and of course what Rosemary's doing. Thousands of quilts within 7 short years. That just blows me away. The parade was beautiful. It was go, no-go for a while there. We were worried. It was going to rain Sunday. We were thinking about it. I mean, literally it came out to the wire 7:30 Monday morning. Yeah, but as everybody said, they all pulled it together, and that was great. Today I had the benefit of going to the Memorial Day program up at Cedar Crest. They really do a great job. I mean, it was really impressive. And to talk to everybody up there and what they've gone through and the sacrifices that they have made really is impressive. 2 weeks ago, I was down in D.C. for Police Week, and we were honoring 282 police that have passed in the line of duty in the last year. And that's something that, we can't forget. Same thing with Memorial Day. We can't forget all of those that have come before us and, are the reasons why we have our freedoms that we have today. So everybody that's been in service, everybody that has passed, I really want to thank everybody. But it was interesting because I had a conversation with somebody, and they know that I'm running for re-election. And the conversation was interesting because they were like, why do you want to do this? I mean, they see all the division and politics nowadays. It's just out of control. And, signs are being stolen, and people are going in and intimidating business owners and intimidating homeowners that have signs. It's just crazy. And it was interesting because I was thinking about that for the rest of the day. But that evening, I had the honor of marrying this wonderful young couple. They had young kids. They were so happy. We really had a great time. We actually did it outside. And the whole family was there. And, you know, it really got me thinking. Between that, going to the rain barrel, you know, where they taught us how to build a rain barrel. That was the first time I was ever there. But it really, you start realizing all the volunteers in town and what they're doing, whether it's the Martin Berry House or everybody in open space looking for another path, or, you know, when we celebrate businesses that come to town and we get to, you know, cut that wonderful ribbon. You know, these are the things that make the Township of Pequannock awesome. It's the community, it's the culture. You know, I actually love going to my meetings, whether it's the open space meeting, where we come up with different things and provide solutions for different things, and even the first aid squad. You know, it's amazing what these people choose to do for our town. And I want to say the stories, but literally, you know, they get a call, they go over to one of our local food establishments and resuscitate a person that's passed out, basically dead, bring this guy back to life, bring him to the hospital, they live another day, and it's just normal for them. And even when we come together for an event, you know, whether it's a flood or, you know, unfortunately when we have a fire, and I have to say, one of the biggest takeaways is how proud I am of everybody that shows up. I mean, the homeowners are there. It's a horrible situation. With that said, you've got Fire Company 1, Fire Company 2, you've got First Aid Squad, you've got Mutual Aid. Everybody's just doing their thing. It's literally like, you know, watching the ballet. Everybody knows exactly what to do. Everybody is on point. They're doing their best to save everything they can, making sure that there's no life loss, even down to, you know, an animal, a cat, a dog. And yet they just do. And not one of these people have to be there. Not one. None of them get paid. They're literally just doing it because they love the community. And that's why I love doing this, because I love the community. Sure, there's going to be some goofballs out there and some people that are angry and not having a good day, whatever. But at the end of the day, this community is amazing. And it's because of our culture. It's because of the volunteers. Not only is it the fire companies and the police and you know, everybody else, it's our fabric. It's our almost 300 years of history. It's just amazing. So I just want to say how proud I am of the community. I know I say it a lot. John, I know you say it. But it's true. You know, if it wasn't for everybody, we wouldn't have this amazing community. So, God bless America, and God bless the Township of Pequannock. All right, back to business. Next on the agenda is public comment. As a reminder, we welcome comments, suggestions, and questions rather than dialogue. During the public comment period, comments are limited to 3 minutes. If anybody wishes to address the council, please wait to be recognized to come to the microphone and provide your name for the record. Come on up.
Patricia Horsting, lifelong resident. I have 2 comments. One, and I know this has been discussed a couple times already, but 60 Sunset, as an attorney myself, is detrimental to the town for the council members to show up unless they live within 200 feet. So I would strongly suggest the town council try to remember that it is the community that we live in, that we want to be able to keep town the way it is. So I'd strongly suggest council members, all council members, except if you live within the 200 feet, not to show up to, you know, greet people or put cars on streets and put signs on them. Just try to show up, try not to show up and abide by guidance by the town attorney. That's number 1. Number 2, I've just listened to you, Mr. Hurd, basically give your re-election speech. Are we going to have Dave Cole and Vince give their option to speak too, because you've ranted on for 3 minutes about yourself? And then you accuse people of stealing your sign and bullying people in town, which I doubt that's so true. And then you have the third, you have Miss Russell saying that people are spewing lies about what happened at the town meeting that she didn't attend. I attended it, and it was a very disrespectful meeting that every time a resident spoke up, you had the board members playing on their cell phone, rolling their eyes, and ignoring people's questions. And then when someone did have a valid question, they just said, oh, you're just spewing lies. So remember, this is a town that some of us grew up here. And I know for me, I went from Stephen J. Gerace to Pequannock Valley to the high school and have been here my whole entire life. So I sit there and I'm very protective of this town. And so maybe we should try to consider that this is a good community and it's a great community. And we take care of the people in town. And we don't sit there and do things to promote ourselves just to get recognized by people.
Thank you. Anybody else? Come on up.
Marty Drag. I just want to let you guys know that I did march in the parade yesterday for my 30-something time. I'm very proud to walk down North Pumpkin Turnpike to see the turnout that comes from Pequannock Township. It's a great town. We have a mutual aid company, which is Lincoln Park Fire Company number 1. They're invited to the parade. Before the parade kicked off yesterday, we had some bagels and orange juice at the firehouse, and we had a little conversation. I said to the guys at Company 1 in Lincoln Park, are you guys having a parade this year? They said, no, we haven't had a parade in years. And I said, oh, is that because of COVID? And I don't know if the town council's aware of this, but they said, no, it's because of lack of participation from the townspeople of Lincoln Park. Wow. Not from the lack of participation from the organizations that march, the lack of participation from the townspeople that sit on the curbs along the main street there. So they don't have, Lincoln Park does not have a Memorial Day parade anymore. But I just want to let everyone know that Pequannock does, and I'm proud to walk down North Pumpkin Turnpike to see the crowds that show up along the curbs of the street out there.
We had a great turnout.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think I've said good morning so many times in my life. But yeah, I agree.
Lots of happy families.
It was an awesome day.
Would anybody else like to come up? Nope. I saw her first.
Sorry. The parade was great, and it's great every year. But I do have to say one thing that is just in my craw, is that nobody stays for the ceremony and for what it's really about. There was, I don't know, 50 people there, tops, maybe, and they're walking out even as the very honorable people are speaking. It's disgraceful. You talk about disgraceful in this town. It's disgraceful that they just want to come out for all the pomp and circumstance and don't stay for the veterans who really serve this country, who let us stand here and be able to speak and say what we want when we want. So I just got to get that off my chest. It's really disgraceful that people don't stay for the ceremony.
Thank you.
It was also nice to hear Colonel Chilton speak about his family and legacy as well, and how he lost his father. I mean, I had no idea, but that was really moving. So, Kathy, thank you. I agree.
I saw one more. Come on up.
Got one in the back, too.
Lorraine Robertson. Adam, I have a question for you. This is in regarding to 60 Sunset. I know you can't answer, but I just wanted clarification on one of our E-codes, which is 360-69, and that is under Article 11 for administration and enforcement, and it's specific to the construction permit. And item number 4 says that no excavation or site preparation shall begin until a building permit is issued. So this is where we have questions with the construction company. At what point could they start demolition? Because it goes on to say that they cannot do that until the use or variance or site approval has been conducted. So is that a gray area? Is that something that we could follow up on at some point. I mean, I know the hearing is tomorrow, but I really, it's that gray area where when you read the E-code, right, does this construction permit fall in after? But according to what item 4 says, it says none of this demolition work can be done until the use variance is approved. So
At the conclusion of the public portion, they can reread my report, but
that's fine. I just wanted to, see if we could get some kind of clarification on it, and we appreciate that. Thank you. Thanks.
Come on in.
Good evening, Council. How are you?
Hello.
Hi, Sharon.
I feel like I was reading your minds tonight. So first, I wanted to comment. I said this a few years ago. American flags should be on every pole in this township 24 hours, 7 days a week. Dave Holberg was sitting on as municipal manager when I had said that. I know that during the school system, like during the year, they put the flags up and then at the end of the day, they take them down. But I really feel that if you have a flagpole, the American flag should be raised 24 hours, 7 days a week in this township. If you're going to leave a flagpole empty, then take it down. Second thing I wanted to just bring to the council was, I know that you discussed Greenview Park, the path. It's not my say what you're going to do, but I look, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Keep the land natural. You're absorbing a lot of the land enough as it is, and we have a lot of water issues. If there was any kind of grant money, I'd really like to see going into my third point, which West Parkway, there is now a nice pond that's been there for a long time. So a few weeks ago, there was a comment about that, and I put some thought to it. And I would really like to see the Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts, if you could reach out to them, maybe they could come up with some collective designs and try to keep the water the way it is. I know the dog park is gone, so I'd like to see as a resident where that dog park could be. I know there was a shooting range. We have quite a few places that are open in space, so if we're not going to resolve that pond issue, just leave it natural. Remove the dead trees, make it a nice park, put a nice path around there if you have to, but unfortunately, we can't fix that, so might as well do something to make it better for the township. And the fourth part that I want to say is DPW. They're doing an awesome job. I see them a lot in town. They even at the end of the parade, you see them cleaning up, taking everything down, so they've done just such a great job in this township, and they should be recognized amongst a lot of other groups that you guys mentioned tonight. Okay?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay. Next on agenda item is minutes for approval, April 23rd, 2024. Are there any comments on these minutes?
No.
Is there a motion to approve these minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from April 23rd, 2024.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Okay, there are no items for closed section. There being no further business, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned at 8:21. Thank you, everyone.